Good afternoon, learners. In the previous lecture, we talked about the Scarecrow and we came to know that Magengo Babu is stuck to a place which is a place of nowhere where there is no habitation. There are, on the road, on the eastern side as well as the western side, you are finding the barren fields are there. He is left with no habitation there, and his driver has left Panga in order to get petrol because his car is ran out of petrol. Otherwise, he has already told to his driver Sudhir about, he has pointed out rather to Sudhir that his car may run out of petrol because the gauge was not functioning properly. Okay, now he is stuck at a place which is a place of nowhere, eastern as well as western side, and the atmosphere is quite barren. You didn't have crops. The fields are totally looking like a deserted condition, and he finds on the western side that there is a scarecrow. And on the scarecrow, what is happening? There's just one vertical pole and a horizontal pole placed, looking like just two arms, and an earthen pot which is put upside down. And Margengo Babu was only recollecting one thing that is very important, that Scarecrow has put on a shirt, a printed shirt, and that tells Margengo Babu, it comes to Margengo Babu's imagination, in his mind, somewhere at the back of his memory, that this particular shirt, he wants to recollect something about it but couldn't guess properly. And in the meanwhile, what happens? You have the Scarecrow that comes into some sort of life. He understands that Scarecrow is advancing towards Margengo Babu, and instead of what is called a horizontal pole, he is finding perhaps it is basically his arms that has lowered a little, and instead of one vertical pole, he finds perhaps there are two legs. And in the meanwhile, what happens, that is very important. From here onwards, we will try to understand what happens there. The Scarecrow calls out to him, Babu, with a human voice. When he calls Babu with a human voice, he now recognized that voice, because this particular voice is very, very familiar to Margengo Babu. It was the voice of Abhiram, who had been Margengo Babu's servant. Babu recollects that Abhiram's hometown is close to the place where he is now. He is so terrified and leans heavily against his car. The Scarecrow is now much closer to him and asks him if Babu can recognize him. Babu says that he has recognized him as Abhiram. He also says that he recognized it because of the shirt which he had bought for Abhiram in the past. Abhiram says that he was quite innocent and questions Babu why he didn't believe him. Babu recollects past. Abhiram worked as a servant to Babu for 22 years. He was faithful servant, but he stole Babu's golden watch, which was given to him as a wedding gift. Now, this is very interesting to understand. It all happened 3 years ago. When questioned about the watch, Abhiram said that he didn't steal it. Babu's father took the help of witch doctor, who points Abhiram to be the thief, and because of this, Abhiram lost his job. Abhiram starts speaking again. He says that he fell ill after he left Babu's house, and so he couldn't work anywhere. He had no money to go to a doctor or to buy medicine or even eat properly. He says that his son wore this shirt for a while, and after it got torn, it became a shirt of a scarecrow. And Abhiram became the scarecrow, waiting to beat Babu one day. He also says that he learned something after his death. He asks Babu to search under his wardrobe after going home. He also says that Babu's new servant doesn't clean properly and the watch has been lying there under the wardrobe for all these 3 years. He says that when Babu finds the watch, he will come to know that Abhiram is not a thief. Abhiram says that he found peace and relief as he told the truth to Babu. He slowly turned hazy. He bid his goodbye to Babu and telling that he must leave and disappear. Margengo Babu wakes up to Sudhir's voice. He finds himself sitting in the car. He fell asleep thinking of his story plot, and the pen is still in his hand. Remember, boys and girls, he was trying to write down the plot of the story and he was simply lying in his car. He looks at the scarecrow as it is standing there in the distance. On reaching home, he goes straight into his room and searches under the wardrobe. He finds his gold watch there. He decided that from now on, even if something ever gets stolen from his house, he would never consult a witch doctor. Margengo Babu feels that despite being an author, he hasn't evolved as a complete human being. Now, boys and girls, you can easily understand, there are certain problems that are created by what is called witch doctors. It is because witch doctor has pointed towards Abhiram in the past, and what happens because of that? He has lost his job, and after losing his job, he didn't work anywhere. Abhiram didn't work otherwise. He is a very faithful servant. He has worked for Margengo Babu for at least 22 years. And then you can easily understand one more thing. He is faithful to that extent that he didn't work anywhere. And because of this, because he was innocent and he got some sort of stress and anxiety, etc., and he was involved in what is called dropsy, a disease, and he didn't recover, and that is because he died. Now this is the entire story where you can understand what happens in the Scarecrow. A very wonderful story. We will be discussing its other things, its theme, its characters, and we will talk about certain questions which are very important. We will discuss its setting inshallah in the coming lecture, and we will also try to see the encounter between Scarecrow and Margengo Babu. We will try to understand it further. For today, I think it is enough, and I will stop here. Okay, goodbye.